his budget announced yesterday, he spoke about the move which could see taxes on draft beer and Prosecco slashed, with changes that would reward lower strength drinks. Let's speak to Christopher Walkey, the founder of Glass of Bubbly, a promotion network for sparkling wine. Christopher, must have been music to your ears. Did you pop a bottle yesterday in celebration?
Yesterday, today and tomorrow, yes.
So what sort of an impact will this have on the industry in terms of making sure that bubblies become easier to buy, cheaper and more accessible to people? Will that have a really great impact on the UK industry?
Well, with regards to the UK industry, it really depends on who wants to claim that difference, that kind of a duty fee. So if the winery can literally keep that money, they can reinvest in the winery, which is good, or they can pass that saving on to the resellers, so the restaurants. So more people are buying English bubbly. With regards to the excise duty for the likes of wines coming from abroad, Prosecco and Champagne, then there's a saving to be made there. So again, this helps the hospitality industry in this country, which in turn helps the wineries.
Now, as a bit of an expert on this subject myself, of course, I have found one thing quite remarkable. Since the craze for Prosecco seemed to erupt, which, in my opinion, was because it made a more affordable alternative to champagne, it seems to me the price of Prosecco's gone up and the price of champagne's coming down. Do you think is that a fair assessment?
I think there's always been, should we say, cheap champagne. You can get a cheap bottle at the supermarket, and there's always going to be cheap Prosecco. There are good quality Prosecco that goes up in price, and there's obviously good quality champagne. So if you're looking for the budget, then champagne and Prosecco aren't too far away. Let's say it's a £5 difference sometimes. But if you want to expand to the quality, then Prosecco, you can go up to 20, 30, £40 a bottle, and goodness knows with champagne even more.
And is it worth splashing the cash to get something good quality? Or frankly, if you're, just someone who enjoys a glass of bubbly, it's perfectly valid to just opt for something that doesn't break the bank?
Well, I think at the end of the day, a glass of bubbly, a bottle of bubbly is a fun thing. So it could be champagne, Prosecco, Lambrusco, or even English fizz. If you want to indulge in quality aromas and flavours and you've got the time to do so, so you're not at a wedding party and having a quick drink, then there's some fantastic quality out there to explore. Even this year, English Fizz was voted the best in the world. A little winery down in Sussex, Fox and Fox, won the title in front of champagnes and Proseccos and everything else. So even on our home shores, not only can we make a good cup of tea, we can make some good wines as well.
I agree with that, actually. Growing up in Gloucestershire, we had a couple of vineyards there, which made some very good plonk indeed. But I've often found that English sparkling wines tend to be fairly expensive. Do you think that's right? And what's the reason behind that?
They're made in the same way as champagne is made. So it's the traditional method. So they go through the same process, the same costs. These kind of wines are of very good quality, so they should be shoulder to shoulder with champagne. And they've got a good reputation now. They're getting more and more medals, more recognition, and being exported globally. So these wines are well worth exploring, and they certainly are as good as champagne. English bubbly.
Probably it's well worth pointing out to anyone out there watching their waistline. They're also, by and large, lower in calories, aren't they, than a glass of wine?
They can be. It depends on the sugar level in the bottle. So we've got different styles of wine. Some have more sugar, some have reduced sugar. Just have a look on the bottle and you can decide if it's the right one for you. But like anything, you shouldn't indulge in too much of anything, including alcohol. So a glass an evening is fine, and it shouldn't ruin any lovely diet.
And how important do you think the Chancellor's announcement is? Where, I mean, it's almost as if he's adding a bigger sin tax to the most alcoholic booze, but actually giving a bit of a free pass to the things that you can probably have a good couple of glasses and still make sense.
Yeah, but it's all to do with the alcohol level. What he's done is, with regards to the still wines and the bubbly wines were always taxed more, even if they had the same percentage as still wines. He's now brought that down, so be it a bubbly wine or a still wine, it's taxed at the same amount. So, and they're only going to be, what, 12% for English bubbly, 12.5 maybe for champagne. Still wine's usually about 11. So, you still can have a glass an evening. It equates to the same as like a whiskey or something to that effect, or 2 pints of beer.
Christopher, always fascinating talking to you. Next time, I hope you come in person with a bottle of bubbly in your hands. That would be very welcome indeed. Christopher.
Thank you very much. Take care.
You too, founder of Glass of Bubbly. Now, before we hear what you've got to say about our big topic today, COP26, I just want to share this with you. There are calls for mandatory menopause training for GPs and all healthcare professionals.